Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. 100 racks, 100 bands, 100 million sats. Hold it in my hands. Yeah, they used to laugh at us, now they wanna dance. They never bought any before, but now they want a chance. TV news reports, going to the moon. A year ago, that very station told you it was doomed. I was telling everyone about it, they never heard me though. Now I'm checking my folio, getting vertigo. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Shout out Gary G. Wow. Senator Warren, the biggest clown show on earth. They kept the circus going. Those ETFs received the checks and kept the surplus flowing. They tried their best to FUD, but nothing stopped the chart from blowing. Shout out Larry Fink and all the Wall Street chads. The people that were laughing at us about to buy our bags. Back in 2018, I said I'd never sell. Now they're bidding six-figure Biddy. Maybe I will. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me for all of these years. Living through all the fun, holding, accumulating dollar cost averaging. This is our moment. Congratulations.
All right. Good morning, everybody. What a day. I'm going to also have to I should fix this real quick. We get a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in the world of Bitcoin. I don't know if anybody noticed, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. Let me make sure I'm sharing out the right screen here. I'm trying to get this in the bottom right corner. I'll find out in a second if I did it. Oh, we barely begun to do it. Zach. Barely. We're just getting started. There's a lot more fun coming from here, guys. All right, let me see here. Nope, that ain't it. Sorry, I'm trying to get Bitcoin in the bottom right corner. The right one. Let me see here. There we go. That's the one I'm talking about. I need to shrink this up a little bit, though. Sorry, I don't have this prepared. Just a little giddy today. Just a little bit. Oh, man. Look at this chart. This chart is retarded. So, let me get back. All right, I need to summarize. So, if you didn't know, Bitcoin's over 100K. That's kind of cool. Altcoins are taking a breather. We'll be looking at that too. Bitcoin dominance is just a little bit weak right now. If you look, or I should say this, BTC dominance has bounced, and it is now, if you look over here, above the previous support line. So altcoin season might have taken a pause. Not that there can't be things that go up. There usually is, but it's all about the Bitcoins right now, and I think that's taken MicroStrategy higher. I think that's taken, if we look over here, I think MicroStrategy in a very short period of time is going to bust above 550. I think we'll get into the 600s really, really soon, maybe on our path to 860. And that's going to be a lot of gains, guys. This morning, it's already 8% on MicroStrategy. If you have MSTX or MSTU, hey, guess what? That 2X peg is starting to come back. So that's how it works. The inflows make a difference. So we got 16 point something percent yesterday, and we got another 16 this morning. Could that be 20 or 30 today? Yeah, it could. Pretty sure today is going to be $1 million day for me. Kind of excited about that. MSTU up a total of 33%, but if you look at the compounding effects, we're getting closer to 40% in 2 days, 24 hours technically. It's going to be so much fun, guys. We got a lot of good stuff in front of us. And that ain't it. That ain't all of it. So I think MicroStrategy is going up, but I think the miners are going to come with it. I think they'll lag, which is okay. We're fine with that because we've got over 1.5 million in MicroStrategy and related 2x funds. So I'm hoping to pull a quick milli this week, maybe the beginning of next. And then I'll pull some of that out and I'll start buying some of my other favorite things that I haven't put enough money into. So very excited about that. But it gets better because the stock index right now has a fear and greed of 56, almost neutral. That's kind of cool. I don't hate it. And then at the same time, the Fed Watch tool has pretty much locked in that 25 bips. We like that too. That's perfectly what we need to see. My boy Tom Lee was talking this morning too. Maybe it was last night. I think it was last night actually, because he made it reference that like Bitcoin hadn't hit 100K yet. But yeah, so he was talking about how it would be a good thing for the Fed to pause after December, which I agree with. I've been kind of saying that for a while. And then instead do a slow amount of rate cuts over a prolonged cycle because that will pump the markets more. So do I have a price target for MSTU or MSTX? No. But here's the deal. And we got to talk about CleanSpark. Are they going to do a convertible debt offering? I kind of think they are. I kind of called that too. We'll talk about that in a second here. Again, HUT yesterday, they're creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So we got a lot of companies kind of doing similar stuff here. It's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out. Very, very interesting. We got a video from Matt Schultz to watch on CleanSpark, talking about some of that. We got economic data coming out this morning. What do we got for economic data? We got jobs data, exports, imports, all the goodies. Really, the economic data, for the most part, is done by 7:30 a.m. this morning, Central Time. Oh, we got Vlad Tenev from Hood. Hood is taking over the world, not just the Hood anymore. Expanding into Singapore. If you guys didn't look, my friends Future Invest, Crossroads, and Emit, they were all out there hanging out with Vlad yesterday. And we'll be listening to Vlad at about 7:40 this morning, so in about 50 minutes, talking about them getting into the betting markets on top of world expansion and global domination. I would easily say that Robinhood is a much better investment bet than Coin is right now. So it's going to be rough to be invested in Coin, I believe, because Robinhood is just going to be so much better. But yeah, my price targets for MSTU and MSTX, that's a really good question. So I don't give a shit about where these go, and I don't put price targets on them. What I always do in cases like this is I look at the underlying asset. You always follow the underlying asset. It's like asking somebody like, how high do you think IBIT's going to go? I don't give a fuck. I'm looking at Bitcoin. So always look at it that way and think about it that way. And if you do that, then you'll be able to hit price targets. You don't look at like the secondary or tertiary assets for price targets because they're full of noise. You look at the underlying always. So keep that in mind. The underlying, like I just got done saying, I think it's going to 540 in a real quick trip. I think it's got 96% upside. If that tells me anything about the explosiveness of the ETFs, if that happens in short order, for me, that's probably 120, 130% from here. So that's getting closer to $2 million in gains, hopefully this year. And by this year, I mean by the end of December, just off this one play. I'm hoping to hit 7 to 8 million this or next week. And that will be exciting if that happens, because I've got other stuff I want to buy too, right? We got other things we want to do. We're not a one-trick pony. We've proven that multiple times over and over and over again. So, but yeah, good times, guys. Again, today, you can kind of see, if we look at the daily, you can see how the shit coins are taking a breather. Oh, what is that? XRP? What's XRP? XRP's down 7.5%, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, hey. Are all those XRP trolls ready to go after me? And they said they were going to take all these pictures. They're taking all these pictures so that they can let me know in the future what's coming. So I'll have to keep an eye out for those pictures and see if they posted any today so that they can mock me for the fact that I told them that XRP would start dropping. and that they should invest in other things. Oh, well. Let's move on. Let's talk to chat. How you guys doing today? Is everybody good? Jesse, you still holding those PayPal leaps? I got a shit ton of those. I didn't sell any. I haven't sold anything. I've been really boring for a week. The last thing I did was I bought a bunch of MSTX and MSTU. Everybody thought I was a fool. And now I'm probably going to make $1 or $2 million off of it. So those were my last trades a little over a week ago. But let's get back to it here. So again, what are the themes? Altcoins taking a break. MSTR getting ready to take off because Bitcoin hit 100K. Bitcoin is not stopping. Also, one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Oh, in Tesla to $420,000. No, wait, that's wrong. I'm in Bitcoin terms right now. I got to dial it back. Got to dial it back to Tesla. $420? Yes, I think that's happening. We're going to talk about that today too. Oh, and by the way, since I made that comment yesterday, I think Tesla's up like 3 or 4%. So that's happening. And I don't even know how many likes that post got. Let's take a look here real quick. It got a lot, guys. It got a lot. Yeah, that'd be better. 420,000 sounds. See, Bitcoin's broken me. It's just broken me. Let's take a look here real quick. Let's go to Tesla. So a bunch of things. I mean, there's so many things about Tesla. What do you even say about Tesla? Even Jeff Bezos is on the Tesla train. Let's listen to Jeff Bezos talk about the Department of Government Efficiency and how we should be looking at it. Keep in mind, this man is a liberal.
I think it could be true. I think he probably is trying to, I think this Department of Government Efficiency and that he and Vivek are helping Trump with and so on. Again, I've had a lot of success in life not being cynical. And
you know what? I just want to touch on that point. The day, and this didn't happen until my 40s, which is kind of sad. But the day I really stopped the internal part of my brain from going like, oh, hey, why did this person do this to you? Why did they say this to you? Why aren't they respecting you? Why aren't they doing like all this negative bullshit that a lot of us put inside of our heads, telling us we're not good enough or telling us that other people need to respect us more and blah, 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 blah. All the bullshit. I found that when you're grateful and optimistic, that life is just infinitely better. Infinitely better. So I would agree with what Bezos is saying here. We need to be optimistic about what's getting ready to happen. I got one of my right screens. Oh, guys, I'm finally replacing my 32, putting my 32-inch OLEDs on the side. Might keep one of the 27s, but we're going to be lit on these screens now, and I'm going to have a much better interface since I moved everything to the Mac. I'll be able to literally just see everything that's going on all the time, even during my live stream. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. But right now I have one of my 27s. It's just like blinking on and off. Slightly distracting. But anyway, let's get back to Bezos. Somebody said, hey, is there any altcoins you would hold? No. No, you don't do that. Not with altcoins. They're altcoins for a reason. Again, I'll sell all my Bitcoin leverage. I'll keep some Bitcoin. Definitely keep some Bitcoin because I stack on that every cycle. But you don't keep altcoins unless you like losing money.
very rarely been taken advantage of as a result. It's happened a couple of times, but not very often. And I think that cynicism, why be cynical about that? Let's go into it hoping that the statements that have been made are correct, that this is going to be done, above board in the public interest. And if that turns out to be naive, well, then we'll see. But I actually think it's going to be great. I'm hoping. I think it could be true. I think he probably is trying to...
Somebody was asking me about MSTU, MSTX. I was down almost 20% on those, something like that. And now I'm in the black. So it's been good. I don't hate it. Not going to lie. Also, let's just jump all over the place real quick. Bank of America just increased their Tesla price target from 350 to 400. That seems to go along pretty good with the $420 price target. And then Cole one-upped me on here. He said that the target should have been $420.69. I actually totally agree with that now that I'm looking at it. That was a no-brainer. And thank you to the Son of the Walkie. He's kind of big in the Tesla community for the pain and suffering that he's had to cope with. You can see him coping over here. He's got his hopium on. And he retweeted me. Thank you very much. 1,600 likes on that. That's pretty huge for me. And then almost 2,000 on the original. Also pretty huge. It's always nice when you get 100,000 views on something. That hasn't happened a lot for me. I'm told I'm controversial and opinionated. So I don't always get all the love. But I don't think, if you don't have opinions, what the fuck are you even doing in this space? So, but yeah, that's what's happening, guys. The measured move here for Tesla. And again, I know I posted this for subs. No, I must have broadly posted it. I've been trying to do a little bit more of that, just not subs, because these are such big moves with Tesla and Bitcoin. I wanted to make sure everybody knew about it, not just people that are, paying $5 a month. I will shut that down more in the future, though. So I'm just trying to be nice. And these were major moves that were coming this week. So I want to do my part. Alex Garcia, Invest Answers last night said initially his BTC target was 120, but not anymore. Now it's much higher. It should be much higher. My target for early spring is 150,000. It should be much higher. We've got nation states. We had Vladimir Putin yesterday say that Bitcoin is unstoppable and uncensorable, and that anybody that's trying to get away from the dollar should be using it as an asset. So they're doing that. They're doing that. Hood's up 7.4%. Congrats. I sold a bunch of Hood for MSTX and MSTU. I think that's still going to be the better bet. But again, guys, I can't complain about Hood. Hood is one of my best investments over the last several years. I've made over 1,600% on 3 rounds of 500 to 600% increases. Anybody that was a part of that ride, it was a good one. And anybody who's still a part of it, I think it's a great company. I think Palantir is a great company. I wish I would have been a part of that for longer. But again, if my biggest mistake is missing out on Palantir and only making $600,000, I'm okay with that. I could live with it. And yesterday, there were a bunch of people that are like, oh, why is he recommending him? He missed Palantir. He missed this. And then I posted, or he screwed up on PayPal. And then I showed them I'm actually in the black on PayPal now. So all those people could fuck off too. Anyway, let's keep going. I said there is no money to be made in China. I'm sorry, I'm jumping to Tesla first, guys, because I feel like I have neglected it a lot, and we got some stuff to talk about, and we will talk about Bitcoin. We got a lot to talk about everything today. But there is no money to be made in China, and legacy auto is dead, I wrote. This is after a Barron's article saying GM writes down Chinese joint venture. It's a warning for American car makers. Yes, it is. Not Tesla, but yes, the other ones. And again, David Cyber posted this one too. He's got a similar thesis. His is a little more drawn out than mine, probably trying to give himself some time for it to play out. But his is 466 based off the measured move of this ascending triangle. Mine is more modest at 420. I'm not including the full neckline. It can do that though. So you have the actual longest part of the triangle that or wedge or whatever you're looking at that you should include. But then also too, the full range can be from 420 because you're looking at this, and then also up to 466. So when I said 420 yesterday, I was doing that to be cheeky and to be conservative. So remember that. We're going up. It's not like we're going to stop at the all-time high. Let's see, anything else really with... This is because, this is Tesla's China-made EV sales dropped 4.3% in November, second straight month of decline. And I just put, this is because China's a piece of shit. I mean, the CCP is the piece of shit. But that's what's happening. And again, that whole Delaware Supreme Court thing is a nothing burger. Listen to my buddy Brad Garlinghouse if you want to understand why. That's a lot for that. Let's go back. 420, my favorite number. Nice, Cape. James, gold is up huge, 0.07 today. Oh, Peter Schiff, he must be excited. Let's talk about Peter Schiff. Let's talk about him. So, Lynn Alden, I love her. She says governments own like 39,000 tons of gold. Governments own a bigger percentage of refined gold than they own as a percentage of the Bitcoin network, at least as far as anyone can tell. Why did she say this? Okay. Because of this community note for dipshit, Peter Schiff. He said it's ironic that Bitcoin only hit 100,000 by buying off politicians and getting in bed with government without expected government intervention. This milestone would have never been hit What couldn't be done in free market was achieved through the cohesive power of the state, which is funny because then later on he's like, I should have reworded this because he got community noted. I meant the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And but even then, Lynn totally refutes this because she's like, I'm sorry, the biggest reserve right now is gold. So what are you really talking about, Peter? What are you really talking about? And then I don't think even a lot of people understand this. First words out, first whiskey shot. Dude, James last night was hilarious. He was just like slurring and having a good time. He was having a good time. He was a little, I think he got, I don't know how many drinks he had, but he was definitely like operating a little slowly and just soaking up the moment. And I mean, he deserves it. So that's wonderful. But real quickly, let's, Tipsy James was great. I didn't watch the full thing because I was like, I got to get to bed. James, is dipping into the alcohol and somebody needs to be ready to talk about Bitcoin tomorrow. Kyle Wright, thank you for the 10 memberships, man. I appreciate you, sir. Don't know if you guys know, we passed 4,900 memberships yesterday, paying memberships across all platforms. The number one lead is on X now, surpassing YouTube, which I love. I love that that's the number one. I'm going to see if I can adjust this real quick. Get this monitor to quit flaking out on me. Don't fall over. Maybe that'll help. Now it's just like tipped crooked, but it's not blinking. What was I talking? But yeah, thank you for the memberships. We passed 4,900, and then I think today we're gonna pass 5,000, which is just shocking, guys. You got to put this in perspective. I took a hiatus a little bit over the summer because I was just burnt out from just negativity from the grind of the 6 to 7 months on Bitcoin, and when I did that, I mean, my membership was down to like 1,000, and then I didn't even have Discord and I didn't have X, and now it's 5,000 today. Just kind of blows my mind to go up, 500 today. All these numbers are bigger in my head now. 500 today. No, 5,000. What am I saying? I'm so tired. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. But yeah, it's a huge, 5,000. That's the right number. It's a huge number, and going from 1,000 to 5,000 in a little over 3 months is like humbling to say the least. I went from, again, I didn't even want to make money from this, man. I retired. I didn't need the money anymore. But I went from 60,000 in annual revenue, ARR, to I think it's going to be over 300,000 by the end of this month. It's mind-blowing. You guys are insane. I'll try and devote as much of that as I can back to the channel and people that help the channel. Anyway, back to Bitcoin. Let's get to talking here. We're going to talk about Matt Schultz and CleanSpark. That's definitely coming up next on the list. Let's get through Bitcoin. We will hit CleanSpark. We got a lot to talk about. Bitcoin news, though. Saylor reaffirms his intention to have his Bitcoin keys destroyed when he passes away. Did you guys know that? Kyle, thank you for 10 more memberships, dude. Did you guys? I don't even think people know this. I want to play this real quick. I want you to hear this, okay? This is such an important thing. People don't realize Michael Saylor wants to continue the legacy of Satoshi Nakamoto. Michael Saylor has no kids and no family. He wants to leave this earth knowing that he made it better. And I feel that. I dig that in a major way. So listen to this.
What I would say about Bitcoin, which is just wonderful, is if you accumulate a lot of wealth in Bitcoin and you just burn the keys when you leave, you're making a pro rata contribution to everybody that owns Bitcoin in the world based upon their contribution and their knowledge of Bitcoin. So I think that supporting Bitcoin as a protocol for prosperity is just a great thing to do. And otherwise, I think, take the Bitcoin with you.
Yeah. Will you be known more for the economic success or the humanitarian success?
I hope I'm known for having taken the torch from Satoshi and went on to commercialize Bitcoin with corporations and governments decades after he passed.
All right. Let's remember what happened to Prometheus. Let's hope that doesn't happen to you as you try to pass the torch on. Michael, great stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you, Charles.
Great stuff.
I've got so much admiration. So you got Bitcoin maxis who don't appreciate. I don't even know if Bitcoin maxis would have appreciated Satoshi Nakamoto. I want to shit on Bitcoin maxis a little bit. Let's take a turn shitting on everybody. there are so many Bitcoin maxis that talk about Michael Saylor as if he's a bad thing. I 100% believe his intent on burning the keys. No, this would be his personal stack. I don't know about. I doubt it with MicroStrategy because again, you have shareholder interest. But this is his personal stack, which is well over 13,000 and probably going to grow a lot, right? But his whole point is that this is what people should do. They should give back to the network. If you don't have somebody to pass things on to, you should give back to humanity. And what better way to give back to humanity than to lower the number of Bitcoin and enrich all the people that have been a part of something that will make the world a better place. So I have the utmost appreciation and admiration for this man right here. Also, New York City Mayor Eric Adams did a dunk on people in regard to Bitcoin, and I love it. I think this is before the 100K, but let's listen.
We should not be afraid of Bitcoin. Remember y'all laughed at me when I first got my Bitcoin? Who's laughing now? Go look at my Bitcoin now. Y'all all mock me. You're taking your first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. What's wrong with you? Now you wish you would have done it. you know? And so I am happy. We should not.
I love that. Andra, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. You guys are crazy, man. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Adams is so effed up, lol. Adams. I'm having a hard time keeping money on the sidelines. Love all my investments. Yeah, dude, there's going to be a lot of people that are FOMOing into this. This is why we went in early, right? This is why I tried to very quickly yesterday keep pushing. This is why I have to be overly optimistic. When people are like drowning because it's been 6 months and we didn't get the mega move, I have to be even more bullish and I have to put out bullish content because I've got to make sure that people are going to be able to weather the storm. And it kind of sucks, right? Because people are like, oh, you've been saying that for a while, but you have to do that. If you want to help guide people to where they should be, you have to be excited and happy for them at times where you're just trying to get through the day. But it's worth it, right? It's worth it because then you bring along a lot of people along for the ride. Bitcoin Magazine just in, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF hits 50 billion in assets in a record time. It's not even comparable to anything in history. And again, we have Vladimir. This is yesterday, guys. We have Vladimir Putin saying that basically nobody can control Bitcoin. We have Jerome Powell saying Bitcoin is like virtual gold. We have the New York City mayor talking about how, look how foolish you guys are for mocking me because I bought Bitcoin. And you have Michael Saylor letting people know that this is the most transformational asset on earth. And on top of that, he's going to burn the boat when he passes. His keys are going to go with him. I just think, wow. Vivek said $8 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts to be liquidated at 110,000. So if you guys wonder why we took a pause because this is going to be an Omega candle, which is slightly bigger than a God candle, and it's going to be huge. So the biggest piece of advice I can offer you today is you are not bullish enough on what is getting ready to happen. You're not bullish enough. You don't even know. If this is your first cycle, this right here, we've barely started. Just pretend like it's turkey day, and you just started to eat some ham, or maybe you like turkey. I don't know. Some people are crazy, but you're just getting started. You're just getting started because we have nation states, ETFs. We have everybody fighting for this. Okay, everybody. Anthony Pompliano says Jerome Powell just said Bitcoin is not competitive to the U.S. dollar. He says Bitcoin is competing with gold. Yes. That's exactly what's happening. We're not Bitcoin Cash. We're not Roger Beer. We're competing as the best store of value on the planet. And the only reason gold turned into a currency is because it was a great way to store wealth. It was a shitty way to transport it. And it was not divisible. It was not easily divided. You just think about it. You couldn't easily divide Bitcoin because you had to like smelt it, like fucking hit it with a hammer, try and break. It wasn't easy, right? But it was still the best store of value on the planet at the time and for thousands of years. And so that's what made it so valuable. And that's what's going to make Bitcoin so valuable. It doesn't have to be a currency. It doesn't have to be. Charles Edwards says, we're in a 3 or 4 month window when most of the Bitcoin returns occur every 4 years. Strap in. Yes, 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 yes. We are in a 3 to 4 month window. And honestly, it's probably more than that. It's honestly probably closer to six to 9. He's a little short on his time frame, and it'll probably be in at least 2 waves, maybe 3. But this is the time where people make all the money. Again, just a bunch of others. Yeah. Oh, my boy Income Sharks, he gets a lot of shit, but he was basically saying, guys, at the beginning of the month, we have this panic sell, then the moon. I want to say my boy's right. Income Sharks is a great guy. He's not always right, but he's a genuine human being, and those are the kind of people that we should reward in life. And I just want to say, I told you so. All right, so we're done with Bitcoin. Instead of jumping right into MicroStrategy, we do need to talk about CleanSpark. I'm trying to roll through stuff as quickly as I can, guys. There's a lot to talk about today. Saylor is meeting again with Microsoft. That's one of them. Yeah, they saw that, guys. They saw the presentation. Really, they saw quick descriptions in 3 minutes from Michael Saylor because he knew he needed to get him out. And then they saw those slides, and they're like, geez, what do you think Microsoft thinks now? With Bitcoin over $100,000 and Vladimir Putin talking about how it's uncontrollable. What do you think Microsoft thinks now? What do you think? What happens if they add a small amount of Bitcoin? One of the largest companies on earth, with their second meeting coming up. What do you think? All right, on top of that, Matthew Schultz, maybe a little bit humbled. There's another comment from Zach Bradford that we need to listen to too. But let's just listen to this in his own words. Let's listen to this.
So as we continue to demonstrate capital stewardship and operational excellence, we've been provided some unique opportunities for all different types of access to capital.
All new opportunities, all different forms of access to capital. This seems like a humbling way to talk about convertible notes. And I'll show you a comment from Zach Bradford, I think, that reiterates that. And it's a quote from one of my favorite Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest rulers of Rome. The thing I love about Stoicism is you can have one of the greatest rulers of the earth at one given point in time, and then one of the other greatest Stoics was a slave for most of his life and came from poverty. But these two people and the way they look at life are equal, and I fucking love that. But let's listen to what he has to say here.
Different from what we've seen in the past, and so we're really excited for what the future holds. As always, we really appreciate your continued support as a shareholder with CleanSpark and encourage you that should you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to our team and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks again and happy holidays.
So, weird comment to come out of fucking nowhere, right? Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that we're all of a sudden just talking about additional financing opportunities out of nowhere? Doesn't that just seem like a strange fucking thing to do? Also, we got Zach Bradford. Let's look at Zach here. Right here. You can face any challenge with patience and wisdom. Don't let fear or doubt control your actions. Trust your instincts and your ability, keyword, to adapt. I'm pretty sure I know what that means. And again, what he's saying is, hey, there's fear, doubt, don't let those control your actions. I think he's saying, like, don't sell because you're afraid that the wrong thing is going to happen. Instead, trust your instincts and your ability to adapt. I think that's him talking about CleanSpark and what they're willing to do to adapt to market conditions. And so I think CleanSpark's going to come around. It is the reason why, even though I shit on them and tagged them and shit on them and reshared other people shitting on them, it wasn't because I hated them. And I've been very clear that I like this company and I think they've managed things well. And now is an opportunity for them to do the right thing. And I think they will. I could be wrong. I'm not wrong a lot, but I could be. I'm not wrong a lot because I look for the truth. I think that's one of the things, like Marcus Aurelius and many other great people throughout history. Not comparing myself to him by any means whatsoever. I'm in my basement. I dropped out of high school. A little bit different. But again, I think searching for truth is one of the best things you can do in your life. Give yourself the ability to be wrong. Give yourself the ability to be wrong. And so I find this very fascinating. Also, in about 15 minutes, we're going to be listening to my boy Vlad Tenev talking about Robinhood on CNBC. So that should be fun. Let's do some of that too. But let's go back here. So let's look anything else interesting under the cleans box. Oh, there was a massive purchase actually. Yeah, let's go back. Let's see if I have more here. Price target for CleanSpark. Analyst Paul Golding has hiked, whatever the fuck, Macquarie's, whatever. Is that Irish? I don't know. Price target for CleanSpark from 20 to 24. 24 is not high enough. I still think we're getting to 40 really quick. This right here, this is just somebody last night, it looks like, after hours, buying 1.322 million shares of CleanSpark. Seems like a decent amount. And my boy, Rex Finance, he had some things to say to counter what I was talking about yesterday. And again, I'm not a perfect person, right? I can't know everything all the time. I can't. It's physically fucking impossible. That's why I count on people like him and people like you to tell me when I'm wrong. Even if I don't listen to it right away, I count on you to tell me when I'm wrong, right? And just do it in a nice and respectful way so I don't block you because I get a little trigger happy. Anyway, he said, he talked about the evergreen clause that everybody's worried about. And he says, here's what CleanSpark's incentive program really is and what the evergreen clause really means. He said, in green, I've highlighted the factors that are directly tied to the stock performance and shareholder returns that drive compensation and financial incentive. He goes, in yellow, I've highlighted the additional factors that are indirectly tied to the stock price performance and shareholder returns that drive compensation and financial incentive. And, all right, I'm just going to skip it. The assumption that their financial incentives and compensation don't align with shareholders' returns is blatantly false. That's the thing I was saying yesterday, right? He goes, the evergreen clause increases the maximum number of shares that can be issued and authorized under the plan to 15% of the outstanding share count. This clause simply earmarks maximum equity based on compensation to amount of shares outstanding. You can see below that CleanSpark has not authorized any increase since December 8th of 2023. So again, I don't know. My comments were kind of bullshit. Sometimes they are. The funny thing, even if increased, the shares available under the plan would fall into the long-term incentive bucket and would only be received if the conditions highlighted above in the green or yellow are met, along with few other conditions not highlighted. Takeaway, it seems silly to claim that the management team cares more about their financial incentives than they do about their shareholders, when morally it doesn't make sense and factually it doesn't make sense either. So thank you all for the support you've shown me. This tweet, it means the world to me. I'm incredibly blessed by this community. Yeah, he's a good dude. We like Rex. We like Rex. He's a good guy. So again, maybe CleanSpark ain't so bad, guys. Dario, Jesse has no filter. He blocks you without hesitation. Yeah, fair. Okay. Fair. All right. I love when people admit being wrong. This shows incredible class, emotional maturity, and intelligence. Yeah, I used to hate that. I used to struggle so bad, guys, with being wrong. I'm trying to teach my daughter this now because she's so much like me. But it's okay to be wrong. My whole life, I would get offended. I didn't think I was smart. I thought I was like stupid. In fourth grade, I got 3 Fs, 2 D minuses, and a D. So my entire life, I've thought I was a lesser human being that belonged in McDonald's. Now I think I should be a billionaire because I want to give back to humanity and I want to enrich as many people as I can along the way before I die. Quite the change. All right. Anyway, we got 12 minutes till Vlad. And let's just look here. So again, today, we've got Canadian imports and exports. We've got Great Britain car sales, factory orders in Germany. Those are probably going to be horrific. Or I should refresh. They probably are already out. And then a bunch of other stuff. Can't grow without self-reflection. I 100% agree with that. Dotton, Jesse forces you to be kind and honest when giving feedback, which is a skill not many have. Dude, you have to be nice to people online. You have to. Danny Goo, thank you very much for the 20 memberships. I really appreciate all of you guys. You're great. St. Jesse, man. Only if I work hard enough. I've got a long way to go. Factory orders declined in Germany, negative 1.5%, but they were forecast to be negative 2.1 and negative 2, slightly better than expected. HCOB construction PMI was abysmal at 38. Wow, talk about contraction. In Great Britain, we had new car sales year over year negative 1.9%. Forecast was negative 3.5, so I guess we call that a win. Global construction PMI 55.2 in Great Britain. That's actually good. Forecast was 53.7 and consensus was 53.4. So we're seeing some love there. Again, Europe is not doing well, but I think the money printing will. And so that should help them for a while. Challenger job cuts in the United States, we got 57.727. We were forecast for 49. So our job cuts are more than normal. Canada, and we'll see what our boy Rick Santelli has to say about jobs. But Canada, balance of trade was negative. Oh, I hate it when it does this. Let me get all this stuff off the screen. It's like these notifications are great, but then it covers up all the numbers. Balance of trade negative 0.92 billion, and they were forecasting 0.7, so even worse than expected for balance of trade. Their exports were 64 billion or 64.22, slightly less than their forecast. Imports were 65.14, slightly more than their forecast. So again, kind of reflective of dependency, I think. In initial jobless claims, we got CNBC talking about them. We'll jump to Rick in a second here, but 224,000 initial jobless claims, slightly higher than anticipated. Whoa, Austin Tan, thank you for 100 SGD. Thank you all. I think I'm missing stuff. There's so much coming across. Just want to give back for all the hard work you do for this community. So happy that Hood is coming to Singapore in 2025. Can't wait. Are you in Singapore? Dude, Hood is going to be insane, bro. It's going to be insane. Very excited about it. And yeah, Danny gave 20 membership. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Albert, we love being right, but if proven wrong, we have to reassess our opinions, and then we're right again. Yeah, dude, if you learn from your mistakes, learning from what I did with PayPal was very important. And I don't remember what the other person was shitting for me on. Oh, Palantir leaving too early. And you know what? Here's the thing. I made $600,000. I made like 800 or 900% off of Palantir over a very short period of time because I was leveraged. So again, it worked out. So, but the thing that's important is I was early on one, and then I wasn't patient enough on the other. You got to learn from things. And at least I learned something, right? Oh, awesome. Good to know, Austin. Thank you. But yeah, let's keep going. So continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims, all of these. Mike Rin, thank you very much. Or Make Rin, thank you very much for being a member for 3 months. I appreciate you. Continuing jobless claims, 1,871 versus what was expected to be 1,9. So lower than forecast for continuing, and then slightly higher for initial. It's funny, again, I said this a little bit yesterday, but it's funny how the government data doesn't look as optimistic anymore. Now that they have Trump coming into office, they want to show that things are getting worse. Maybe, or maybe just not have major revisions come all of a sudden in January after they're in office, where they're like, hey, they completely lied to you for 6 months. So they're maybe trying to work their way towards the right number. I don't know. But jobless claims 4-week average is 218, right in line. This is kind of a nothing burger so far, guys. I think we're done with data for the day. Oh, I passed exports and imports to the United States. I don't know how I did this. Slightly better than expected on exports. Imports were slightly lower. This is good. So this is the opposite of what's happening in Canada, but it's good. We want our imports to lower. We want our exports to go up. Let's see what our boys at CNBC have to say about what is going on with the economic data today. And then once they're finished with that, guys, we're going to jump right into Vlad, because Vlad is the man of the hour, and I think deservedly so. Deservedly so.
$20,000. People thought it was crazy back then until it sold for $6 million a few weeks.
I just want to be clear. I can take duct tape and put a banana on a fucking wall, and if you guys buy it for $1 million, you're stupid.
ago in New York. Chiquita Banana has a pop-up marketing here at Art Basel Miami that is just genius. And I was there yesterday. There's me with a banana at Chiquita. That pop-up stand for Chiquita was one of the most popular things yesterday.
Oh my God.
Economic data. Rick,
Here we
take it
go.
away.
Here we go. Sorry.
Yes, for the trade balance, month of October, expecting a number around minus 75 billion, comes in light, minus 73.8. That is the smallest deficit we've had since it was minus 70, and that was in August. But what's interesting here is that if you go pre-COVID on these numbers, and we started keeping track of these in the early 90s, these are some of the highest, largest trade deficits we've had pre-COVID, if you compare it and take out those COVID areas on the chart. So we want to pay particularly close attention to this. It's good news that it went from minus 84 to minus 73.8, its current read, because maybe that gives us a glimpse of how the potential to handicap tariffs in the future may have already affected imports versus exports, which affected that trade balance. On initial claims, they move up to 224,000. That's up 9,000 from a very slightly revised 215,000 originally reported as 213,000. And if we look at continuing claims, they're now back below 1.9 million. And what's interesting here is that the last couple of weeks, we've been over 1.9 originally reported. Both times, including last week now, are revised under. So technically, we still have not been above 1.9 million. But 1,871,000 is the current.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt this real quick because it's a little boring. I'm still waiting for anything good. But yeah, you can see why Vlad has not invited me to the Robinhood conference, right? I'm probably never going to be that guy. It's a good thing we have Amit, and we have, Tanner, Future Invest, and we have Roy from Crossroads, because I'm never going to be that guy. I'm never going to be that guy. I'm pretty sure Vlad doesn't want people interviewing him that have lied and said that he's from Transylvania. I'm pretty sure.
Current read, and I just find it interesting that it seems as though, 3 weeks worth of revisions keep taking that away. Interest rates, well, we're still hovering around that.
If Amit walked out on stage and he had like cloves of garlic sitting in his pocket, oh my God, I would fucking laugh my ass off so bad. Sorry.
420
Trying to get better at cussing. I'm not super great at it.
area in 10s, in 2 year around 414. These are all up slightly on the session. And if you take a macro step, of course, we are now consolidating just below that 4.25 area. Roughly, if you blur your eyes, these are levels that we last spent a lot of time on in mid-October. Joe, Becky, back to you.
Okay, Rick.
I'm sorry. So somebody did buy that artwork for $6 million. I was kind of joking, and they ate the banana. See, that to me just screams of like exuberant wealth and somebody who doesn't care about humanity. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I spent $6 million on this thing and I ate the banana just because I can. Screw all the poor people. That just seems horrific. Seems horrific.
Thank you. Let's bring in Steve Leisman. He joins us right now with more on these numbers as well.
Justin
Steve,
Sun,
the trade deficit.
Do not buy Tron. Do not buy TRX. Justin Sun is one of the biggest scammers out there.
As Rick points out, pretty interesting to see this widening, but
yeah, so that's even worse though, Austin. A crypto billionaire, that just screams douchebag. Don't get me wrong. I was looking at Lamborghini Huracans last night. I'm probably going to buy one, right? Like I'm probably going to buy one, and that's kind of seems douchey too. But it's like one of the cheapest supercars you can get, and I'm going to get a used one, probably like $300K, pretty cheap compared to like the multi-million-dollar ones. But at the same time, I'm not buying a $6 million banana and then fucking eating the thing because I've made so much money. That's such a douchebag thing. If I ever do that, please stop watching me.
we did have Joe Amato with us on earlier this morning. He's worried about what happens if you see weakness in the labor market. What do you think of the numbers we've got right here?
Oh, I'm totally getting the Roadster. I mean, that's definitely happening, but I'm probably getting a Lamborghini too. I mean, why not? I like Porsches. I like the way Porsches are like one of the best maneuvering cars out there, but I want an all-wheel drive Lamborghini Huracan. I had one pass my Cybertruck a couple of weeks ago and I was going like 80, 90 miles an hour, maybe closer to 100 on the interstate, and a Lamborghini Huracan passed me like I was stopped, and it shook the car and it scared the shit out of me and the other person that was in the car. and it was just gone. So I'm like, I might have to have one of those. So the envy kicked in, I think. And just honestly, I'm a speed freak. This is why full self-driving is so much safer for humanity, because for the most part, I shouldn't be driving cars. Lambo gas. What is that? That's not a euro. What is that, Danny? Oh, is that Asian currency of some kind? I don't know. I don't know my currencies well enough. I probably should. All right, let's keep going. Thank you guys. I love you. Thank you for listening to my rants. We got Vlad coming. We need to fast forward. Let's skip this.
Firmer than they would have liked to have seen. But that doesn't change the basic narrative that the economy is normalizing.
Hey, wait.
They want to bring
Sorry,
rates.
I'm going to mute her for a second. JJ says, I've owned a Huracan and a McLaren as well. I check out the McLaren 720S too. It has killer performance and better headroom. Worth checking out. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I will. I'm old, so I need to be comfortable too. I love the McLaren. I love the look of the McLaren. If you ask me, like, the two cars I really, really like, I also like the SF90 Ferrari, but I hate, like, the maneuverability of it. But the Huracan and the McLaren are some of my favorites, I think. Those are the ones I'm looking at. So thank you for that.
The inflation report next Wednesday, and those will be important data really to
I don't think they let you write off Ukraine on your taxes. Sorry, Sika.
assess against that narrative of things
Pound.
moving into
Thank
better
you.
balance, and really trying to balancing the risk to both parts of the mandate, and that's where they are now. And I think that's what they're going to want to try to do. They really want to keep the interest rate, their policy rate, and monetary policy overall in a really good position, so that no matter how the risks manifest themselves, they're able to react in an appropriate way. And I think that's the sort of what path they're on now, is to try to bring rates down. And
they have to.
Oh, go ahead. There's room to.
Yeah, there's room to do it, because even though there's uncertainty.
Urus, Lamborghini Urus. No, I don't see the point. I've got a Cybertruck, and it's probably just as fast. And it's just not that cool of a supercar. I mean, it's an SUV, so no.
Neutral. So I think there's room to continue on that path. They're just going to be a little probably more gradual.
Jaguars are a pain in the ass. They're incredibly expensive. Anyway, I should get off the car stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't own a Jaguar because of maintenance. It's just a nightmare.
Then they might have thought.
And again, they're woke now, so they're going to be bankrupt in 2 years. It doesn't really matter.
They were going in September over time.
That all makes sense perfectly from anybody who's following along closely. But you are going to hear, and we have been
Vlad,
hearing,
where you at? Where you at,
Vlad? Accusing the Fed of being politically motivated by this, saying, okay, you were all in favor of lowering rates when it was President Biden and Kamala Harris who was running for election. As soon as
That's good advice.
President Trump was elected, then the Fed's stance changed. And again, anybody who's watching along knows that what you just laid out makes perfect sense. What do you do, or what does the Fed do in order to try and protect itself from those accusations from people who aren't following along quite as closely?
Well, I think you did what Jay Powell did yesterday, which just explained the rationale for why the Fed's making its decisions. I mean, the Fed is not a political organization, and it's never made its decisions based on the politics of the situation, at least in my tenure there over the last 35 years or so. And so it really is, you've got to explain to people and come to them where they are and explain sort of why you may be going a little slower than you thought. The basic narrative hasn't changed. They want to bring rates down to a more neutral stance, given where they project the economy is currently and where it's going. And, they're going to have to play risks. As you were talking about earlier today, the fiscal situation, policy situation, there's still a lot of uncertainty about.
Get your garlic together, guys.
Learn more over time about what the policies are going to be, the magnitudes.
I feel like with my hair, I should put my hair down more.
Running those through models,
I'll just put like this little thing
to actual business
get my
people
vampire
about, okay, how are you going to react to some of the, things going on the fiscal side? And I think that's an important part of actually talking to those businesses and talking to people about what are they hearing, what are they doing, how do they expect to react, so that the Fed then is in a good position. But a lot of it, Becky, is communicating, and a lot of it is what Jay Powell and his colleagues on the board and at the reserve banks are doing, was really trying to explain, like, okay, what's changed in the economy? What does it mean in terms of where the economy?
Lady, the music's playing. We want to talk to Bad.
And what are the risks around that? Waiting for that next data release, and wow, that's going to change the outlook of the Fed. I think at this point they really should be focusing in on They do look at a lot of data. They take all that in, and then they have to assess, well, what's changed given where we thought the economy was going?
Vlad's totally going to suck her blood if she doesn't get off the stage.
And I think that was one of the things I heard Jay do well yesterday, is try to explain, well, the last set of projections we gave out was September. He didn't say that, but that's what was true, and that's when they started.
I don't know how pensions work.
Moving rates.
Are they similar to IRAs?
What's changed since then?
Like, can you withdraw
and the way
with
I
penalty?
Heard it was there's a bit of
Jesus,
change
lady.
on inflation, a bit firmer.
All right. All right. Fuck it. Ugh, can't handle it. All right, bro. Spend money on nice stuff because you worked here. Dude, I have literally only bought a Cybertruck and a Model Y, and I got to $6 million. That's pretty much all I did. I took like a couple of vacations, nothing crazy. So I feel like I've earned a little bit of fun. Just a little bit. You're locked in. Okay. I don't know how pensions work, but that's a bummer. But at least when it's over, man, you'll know you're good. But they still let you kind of invest with a pension. They let you invest kind of like an IRA. Is that true? And where are you? Like, what country are you into? Assuming the U.S. Alex Garcia bought 200 shares of MSTX yesterday at $89. Glad I did. Good job. How does Vlad style his hair when he can't see himself? Dude, that's a really great question. See, that would be one of the things I'd ask. That's why I'm never going to get an interview with Vlad. He would just walk off. Incredibly offended. It wouldn't be good. That's so funny. Benny, you guys are great. All right, so we got CNBC just hanging here. Let's take a look. Let's see how we're doing today. Oh, this isn't up yet because we're not live. Let's look at performance pre-market. Tesla's up 0.6%, like that. Pre-market's pretty chill. I think most of the money today is going to the crypto. I learned so much so fast since October. Opened a Roth IRA, rolled over a 401k, learned how options work. Gamma, IV, Gamma Delta, all because of BTC and Sailor. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Victor Hernandez, he's rich. Some slave vampire combs their hair. Yeah, that's a good point. The other vampires can see him, right? That's a good point. You guys are so smart. Again, BTC dominance bouncing back nice. You know when I'm starting to, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we ride this for a little bit and then we break down. But like I said yesterday, I do think, and somebody was asking this a second ago, I do think that we're actually going to see a pause in altcoins, and we're going to see more upside in Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related investments. I think that's, yes, Jason was seed and hood. Oh, Jason from All In Podcast did some seed rounds for Robinhood. Cool. It's a long time ago. Dylan, I don't know about you, but I've never seen Vlad in the day. His interviews are always indoors. You know what? The release parties are always at night, too. But I think that's actually pretty normal. But you never know. All right, let's close some of these things up here. Get annoyed by them. Come on, CNBC. Where you at? We want to see Vlad. Vlad. Young investor, do you think Tom Lee's guy is right and we flash crash early next year? I think it's a possibility. It's probably a higher probability because I've talked about this before, but we aren't going to see a lot of people doing tax loss harvesting on all these investments that we're in because they've all went up. And so they're not going to sell into the end of the year. They're going to want to wait. At least, I mean, they can do that in IRAs like the trading I do, but they're going to want to wait. Oh, here we got some Vlad. They're going to want to wait until the next year, until 2025 to sell because they don't want to have to incur tax right away for capital gains. So I could see delaying until the beginning of the year and then taking some profits and then having a retrace. I think that's going to be perfectly normal. That's why I'm hoping to make a couple $1 million between now and the end of the year, because then I can put that into TLT and some other things that I can gladly buy the dip with. I'm confused. Where is Vlad Tenev? Why the fuck are we watching you? Dorkin? Why is Dorkin? And who is this? Just some hot chick? Now we're just talking to hot chicks in the morning.
The studio.
Yeah, it's not true.
Not true. To make it look like it was the studio that you used in LA.
Is this an OnlyFans model? What are we doing? Where's Vlad?
6 figures. So I don't know how the walls could cost 6 figures, but.
But do you think they did that? I mean, you saw
absolutely not. With
Nice MKBG. I sold some of mine and put it into MSTX and MSTU, but I think that's probably going to be the better bet. But I do think Hood is just a great investment. It's only getting better. Vlad's doing a really great job. So that's you probably should wait and exercise him. She runs the Call Her Daddy podcast. What is that? Call Her Daddy. Okay. Dare I ask what that's about? She's rich. Okay. I mean, she does look rich, but OnlyFans models are rich too. What does she talk about on the Call Me Daddy podcast? Can anybody tell me? Oh, okay. Well, if she dislikes Kamala Harris, I love that.
And some people say that one of the reasons SiriusXM wanted to get you is because that you could become the successor at some point to Howard Stern. What do you think of that?
I just am like.
Oh, she interviewed Harris.
Oh my God, I was going to say something saying like I have a vagina, but that was going to be inappropriate. So let's rewind. I am a woman. Like, I don't need to keep being compared to these men. I'm Alex Cooper. I'm going to be Alex Cooper all day. And if I happen to sit next to Joe Rogan or Howard Stern, put me in the middle. But I'm not trying to be the next Howard Stern.
As you could tell, it was a wild conversation. It was a fun conversation.
She was a white dude for Harris.
I will tell you.
Oh, and Andrew Dorkin loves her because she's liberal and she's blonde. Good job, Dorkin.
This is something that she has built, and it is an empire. $125 million contract with SiriusXM. She's launching drinks. She's yesterday.
And it worked out so well for Kamala Harris.
There's something going on here. It's pretty incredible.
How long?
Oh yeah, guys, don't get me wrong. There might, if we get some just crazy numbers, I might do some selling today. I'll definitely let people know that are subscribed on X and Discord. You guys will get the trade notifications like you always do. I still have to update the portfolio. I might have help with that soon. But yeah, so you'll know. I might sell a little bit if things just get stupid today. But I'm selling really small increments. I think that MicroStrategy is going a lot higher. If you just look down in the bottom right corner, you can see how well Bitcoin is setting up. Oh, here we go.
Podcast.
Now a podcast.
Happy to be a guest.
Anyone can.
And on. But they're building a real big business.
What is this thing called?
Call Her Daddy.
No.
They're not even talking to Vlad?
No, it's a
What is going on?
It's called a podcast.
Anyone can do this?
Anybody can do it. You're thinking about one? You can do it. You can get on YouTube, Spotify. I can help you. We can work on this together.
What do you think, Vlad?
I'd be happy to be a guest on.
Good call, Jenny.
Is here. He's ready to be a guest on the.
Did you hear him? You tell him, Vlad. He's like, I'd be happy to be a guest on here. I think he's just kind of drawing the name like, hey, guys, you know I came here to talk, right? Fuck yeah, Vlad.
Show.
I'm ready.
This is the beginning.
Podcast.
Good job.
Now, a podcast. We should give a proper introduction to our next guest because Robinhood is hosting its first ever Investor Day. Just did it yesterday. And we've got some of the highlights. The CEO, Vlad Tanev, saying the company is considering expanding into
love that he
sports
called
betting.
him out.
Robinhood stock has quadrupled, I should say. I was going to say quintupled, quadrupled over the past year. And Vlad is on the set right here, ready to do the Squawk Pod. You haven't done Call Her Daddy yet. Would you consider that?
Maybe, yeah.
Have you done Rogan?
Not yet.
Not yet, but yet everybody wants Rogan. See, it's all moving the direction of travel.
Call me a mother. Does that
call? That's.
Oh,
you want?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm thinking about it.
I think that could work.
That's only half a word.
I know, but that's why I think it would work.
You're welcome, LB.
Vlad, it's great to see you this morning.
Can we get to the point?
Fascinating day yesterday. Before we get into that, I want to actually just hit Bitcoin for just a second with you. If you
Looks like a musketeer.
It's over $100,000 now. I think it's about 102. Are we at 103 yet?
We're at 103.
And fascinatingly, one of the things that did happen yesterday also
Look at Vlad. He
was
just looks
Jay
pissed.
Powell compared it to gold. I want to show you what he said.
People use Bitcoin as a speculative asset, right? It's like gold. It's just like gold, only it's virtual. It's digital. People are not using it as a form of payment or as a store of value.
I would love to
it's
see
highly
Vlad on
volatile.
Joe Rogan,
It's not a competitor for the dollar. It's really a competitor for gold. You know, that's really how I think of it.
That seemed to me to be an evolution of thinking, at least from
Musketeer
sort of
vampire.
public officials that you hear from Washington on this.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin over the past 10 years has gone from largely being ridiculed and ignored and questioned to now
he had the hairline
being
going
taken very
forward.
seriously. You saw that earlier this year with the ETFs. And I think if you talk to early adopters of Bitcoin and Bitcoin maximalists, they've been saying that Bitcoin is like gold for many, many years. So hearing the Fed chair
but
say
hearing getting over 102 now, where are we at? I don't even know where we are. 103.
1028.
1028. Do you say to yourself that, I mean, I don't know what kind of traffic you're seeing on the site right now. I assume it's gangbusters.
We released our November numbers. Crypto trading in general was up something like 400% month over month. We did over 30 billion in crypto volumes. October was also quite a strong month for crypto. So it's been heavy.
Hey, XMB, what's up, buddy?
And then, of course, the big
Welcome,
question
Beaver.
is, are you getting on the train at the right time or the wrong time? You get to these big numbers, and then you say, it just has so much more to...
Sorry, I want to be very clear. Financial Freedom just said coin versus CleanSpark over the next few months. Fuck coin. Hood versus CleanSpark over the next few months. CleanSpark still wins, but if you're invested in an exchange, it should be Hood. Hood is a smaller market cap than Coinbase, and they're growing exponentially quicker than Coinbase. They're going to be having much better fees. They're talking about getting into the gambling market on top of the political betting that they did. They're expanding to Singapore and other parts of the world. Easy decision. Robinhood, no coin.
To go. We obviously have had some real bulls on this broadcast over the years that have
Andrew just keeps talking. He's an idiot.
$1 million target, really extraordinary kinds of numbers. Obviously, by the way, the bigger the number gets, the harder it is to actually get the same kind of return that you had if you were, with the program, if you will, a decade ago.
What I will say is likely one of the other interesting things about Powell's answer to your question is that when you compare Bitcoin to gold like that, a lot of the Bitcoin maxis have been talking about should there be a Bitcoin strategic reserve similar to the gold strategic reserves of the country. And I think that gets people very, very excited. I mean, if there was a Bitcoin strategic reserve and you're a Bitcoin maxi, like that's something that they've been talking about.
It also just seems that this administration, I don't know what you think of the new appointed or the nominee to be the head of the SEC is a big crypto a bull in many ways, no?
Yeah, I mean, this current administration has been hostile to crypto.
I do want to hear what he has to say about Paul Atkins, but Perry Shelton in the comments made a really good point, and I want to speak to it. Okay, what Jay Powell just said is Bitcoin is a digital gold is digital gold will be looked back on in history as a turning point. Every congressman and senator now has the cover they need to support BTC's strategic reserve. The Fed chair just told the world it is the same as gold. Strategic Reserve 2025, bank on it. It is, and I've said this yesterday, I played a little bit of a video talking about how it's not the new gold. I mean, it is, but actually I think the play that everybody's missing is it's the new oil. It's the new oil. And after we got off the gold standard, we got on the oil standard. It was the petrodollar. That's why people say they use the term the petrodollar, is because we helped enrich and grow and get people to still buy our debt by increasing the volume of the petrodollar in the U.S. currency and basically tying those two together to where you had to use U.S. dollars to be able to buy oil and sell oil. And so it's gold and it's the new oil, and I hope people realize that. And let's listen to what Vlad has to say about Paul Atkins, Trump's pick for the SEC.
Very much so. I mean, we've been kind of a victim of that alongside the broader industry. So having people that come in that understand it and embrace it is very important.
Just so I understand, what do you think embracing it means for your business? I mean, what is it that's going to happen?
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see Andrew getting less time on CNBC and Joe getting more of it now that we've switched administrations in the future, because they're like, Andrew doesn't play well anymore with the audience. I would love to see that. Just shut him up.
What are the kinds of products that you think could evolve that you can't offer today that you'll be able to offer tomorrow?
Yeah, so the near-term thing is ending regulation by enforcement and having some sort of interim rule set by the agencies while we wait for legislative action. I think that likely will happen now, since both the House and the Senate and the executive branch are Republican and they're open to this.
That's because he is dumb.
Slightly longer term, I think what this opens is crypto being embraced as kind of the new infrastructure layer behind the financial system. This is something I talked about at Investor Day. You know, one way to look at crypto is as a tradable asset like equities, options, and futures. The other way to look at it, which I think is more interesting, is as the next step in the technology evolution from mainframe to cloud to blockchain. And we see how efficient it is as an infrastructure layer. We run both businesses, crypto and traditional finance, at scale. Crypto businesses 10 times lower costs. And that's because a lot of these intermediaries that run on mainframe, like clearinghouses, transfer agents, payment processors, are just replaced by software.
Smart.
So I think what you're likely to see is tokenization.
And you think that's the big shift?
I think that having more real life assets, real world assets, including stocks, on blockchains is going to be, there's big potential. I think Robinhood can actually be a leader in that space.
What the hell? I think Robinhood will be a leader, and I think Robinhood is going to grow exponentially and dwarf and consume all these old legacy exchanges like Vanguard and others that are unwilling to bend towards Bitcoin. They made the wrong decision. I get it if you're old, but if you can't look towards the future, even though just because you're old, you're being a fool. And again, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm 47, but I'm smart enough to know that there's still a future ahead of us, despite of how old I am, and I want to look towards it and see what it's going to be and help bring it to fruition. Vlad is a guy like that too. It probably helps because he can live 1,000 years, but whatever, cool.
Oh, I mean, that chart doesn't do it justice. You were $16 the stock in August.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Thanks,
I mean,
Matthew.
that's not Bitcoin. What the hell is that? That is just
I think that
transaction volume and just the bull markets and the new high.
Tezo says, if Bitcoin hit 150 by next year, could we see MicroStrategy at 700 to 800? We could see MicroStrategy easily over 1,000, in my opinion. Just the way it's scaling, definitely, and the way the NAV premium is set to ramp, over 1,000.
Highs and
well, the business has been growing. We now have 9 business lines generating north of 100 million in annual revenue. So
I mean, MSTR could be 1,500 if we get to 150K. I just want to be clear.
when we went public in 2021, the business was not nearly as strong and diversified. And so the work that we put together over the last couple of years to diversify the business and grow across all.
Yeah, Vlad isn't like a super exciting character, for sure. He's pretty like chill, and in the way that he talks, he's not. Yeah, he doesn't really amp up the room. That's for sure. He's no Michael Saylor. If he injected a little more passion into his speaking, what he's saying is of substance. But yeah, he could use some of that.
Dimensions.
You had a party yet?
Well, we had the Investor Day, which is kind of like a party. I mean, it's informative, but hopefully also a little bit entertaining.
Was it at a club? I mean,
it was actually right here.
Well, it gives,
we were at the NASDAQ
it gives you a
upstairs.
chance to show people what you've done and talk about
tell
it.
people the 10-year story. And I think the really exciting thing about zooming out is Robinhood's expanding across two independent vectors. One is from primarily U.S. to global, and the other is from retail only to business and institutional.
Well, so that's why I wanted to ask you two related questions, because on the retail side, there's this interesting new business, potential sports betting.
That was taken a little bit out of context.
Okay.
I think if you read the headlines, it makes it sound like we're doing sports betting. So we launched a product for the election, presidential election markets, which are CFTC-regulated swaps derivatives. And so the question was, do we intend to expand the range of that? And the answer is yes. We want to launch a much more comprehensive events offering, because that product did very, very well. And I think that it's a great source of information, not just a tradable asset. Now, of course, regulated sports derivatives would have to be approved by the CFTC. Right now,
so you're not a competitor to DraftKings yet?
No, I wouldn't expect us to launch sports betting soon. But I also wouldn't rule it out, you know. But we talked about many things. That was a Q&A response that I think was taken a bit out of
Do you
context.
remember the actual print on the all-time high? Do you remember exactly what it was?
For Robinhood?
Yes.
I think it was
44 and change, I think.
No, I think it was 80.
What?
Somewhere around 80.
Am I looking at the? It must have been. I was looking at a monthly chart. It must have been very quick.
August 2021.
And then back down pretty quick. Let me see. So you got to. That's when you got to have the party.
Need more honey.
Well, we try not to get too excited because I've been through so many of these cycles.
Which doesn't show that. Yeah, it does. It does show it, but it doesn't show it on the side. 85 was the high print. Now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I think we got to say thank you
show.
because we got to hand it off to our good friends on Squawk on the Street. We will have our own party right here, right now. But in the meantime, party on with the guys on Squawk on the Street. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I think Vlad seemed a little annoyed by those guys and just the way they operate. Let's see here. It's 8:04. We got 25 minutes until the bell tolls. Real quickly here, let me hop over. I'm just going to look at Bitcoin on the main screen. This is bullish. This little pause right here, guys, is just, we're on a liquidation hunt now. This is incredibly bullish. Today's going to be a really good day. Let's just look over here. Let's bring this down. And we do need to look at other things. We'll probably go into that right now because there's a lot to look at today. There's a lot. We're going to look at how the rest of, look, MSTX, MSTU up about 18% on average, which is the 2X peg, guys. So the 2X peg is in play, and now you guys are going to benefit from something that if you're new to MSTX or MSTU, it is what I posted about not too long ago, talking about how the returns for MSTX and MSTU can get pretty sick, and I'll show you some of that real quick here. Let me get out of the heat map. So MSTR, again, we focus on the underlying asset to figure out how high things are going to go, right? I think MSTR is going to jump to 545 soon. I think by the beginning of this next year, probably like sometime in spring, we could see 868 pretty quickly. It could happen sooner if things move fast enough. What just happened? Do we have a sailor post? You guys are great. Thank you for posting the news. We have a Bitcoin president. Congratulations, Bitcoin. I love that. Thank you. That's a good post. I'm just going to throw that out there. That is a good one. But yeah, so the underlying, I think, can go anywhere from like 25 to 93% higher. So if you add the 2X onto that, it's actually going to turn into more than 2X. And this is what I wanted to talk to. So if you look over here, I've talked about this before, but from September 5th, I think roughly, we were at a low right around the 100 mark. And then the price shot up to 373% up to 550, right? So a 373% gain over a period from September 5th, 6th, right around there, to November 22nd. So that is a little over 2 months, about 2.5 months. MicroStrategy went up 373%. Why am I bringing that up? Because of this. The compounding effects of daily returns will also be great on the upside. So now we're getting the 2X back. But look at what, instead of 373% in returns over that same period of time, what did MSTX do? It did 1,300% returns. That's more than 2X. I hope you understand that. So the compounding to the downside is also compounding to the upside. There's just different mechanics that are in play. So if we look at MSTU, I had to lower this a little bit because they actually started a little bit later on September 18th for when they went live with their fund. But so if we look at that, it was about 1,286% if I kind of quantify what they would have been at on September 5th and 6th kind of loosely. So you're looking at, with less than 400% gains, you're looking at 1,300% increases. So this is much better than a 2X. This is better than a 3X. So I want to be clear that this is like a 3.5x to the upside over that period of time. Are we going to get something like that again? Probably not. Probably not the percentage gain. But if we get 150%, can you get, or I should say this, if we get a 90%, let's go over here. If we get a 90% move, or even a 25% move, with a 25% move, you can get a 75% move in MSTX and MSTU. I think that this 25% move can happen insanely quick. like between now and the end of the year. So what I'm telling you is I think I'm going to make at least $1 million off of MSTX and MSTU in the coming weeks. 3LMI is up 60% today. Congrats, Benny. Again, you take a massive amount of risk with a 3X fund. If we trade sideways, it'll crush you. But on a day like today, it doesn't hurt, does it? So congratulations. There's probably just tons of liquidity flowing into those all at once, which is giving it a little extra boost. But again, so the upside potential on these is huge. If we go up 93%, I think you can see 250% increase in MSTX and MSTU. So if we got all of a sudden like a really strong push into the 120,000s, which I think will happen between now and the end of the year, or by some miracle we get almost to 150, I'm expecting to make $2 to $3 million just off this one play easily. That might go to $4 million. So I could be cracking $10 million on my investment account just from this play between now and the end of the year or beginning of next. That's not including all the other stuff I own, which is vast, right? I've got almost $2 million in Tesla. I've got well over $500,000 in CleanSpark options. I've got iron. I've got all these miners. So my goal for this next year is to get to $20 to $30 million. People said, hey, I would just do covered calls and just get a steady income once you reach that. That's not my goal. I actually have a goal of being a billionaire. And I'm going to try and do that within 10 years. It'll be hard. 10 to 15 max, as long as I make it that long. I want to be a billionaire. And I don't want to be a billionaire just to be like a rich douchebag who drives like, $5 million cars around or buys $6 million banana artwork and then fucking eats them. I don't want to be that guy, but I do want to enrich the people around me and in the city that I live in, and the state that I live in, and the country that I live in, and the world that I live in. So I'm going to work really hard at doing that, and I hope a lot of other people come along for the ride. Vlad, we try not to get too excited. Lol, no shit. Kyle Wright, he basically told them he'd rather go on the Rogan podcast. I think he would. I mean, these guys are not, they're just like, they're all over the place and really hard, not great at interviewing. I want Jesse, I want to be a Jesse in here. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not. Hey, Jesse, do you expect BTC to peak within the first half of 2025? No, not remotely. You have the entire world fighting for this asset right now. That kind of momentum. Don't sell too early is my advice. Don't sell too early. Definitely take some profits, guys. I'm going to be looking towards TLT and other stuff. Let's do this. We need to move around. We need to take a little jump around the world real quick here. So let's look at the dollar. We're going to roll through all the things real quick, and then we're going to talk further. I'll be here when Jesse becomes the first billionaire that cusses like a sailor. Interviews will be fun and legendary. Yeah, they'll be very interesting, I'm sure. All right, so let's look here real quick. So we've got the dollar down 0.5 or 4 or 5%. Trying to find support here. Can it find support here? Maybe. We'll see. There's going to be combinations of dollar strength and dollar weakness. I think if Trump really does turn Bitcoin into the new oil, then and we're pumping oil hard, I think we can actually see the dollar have some weakness. We can see the dollar have some weakness in the future, where before I didn't see a path. I just thought the dollar was going to scream higher because Trump is so pro-America and America exceptionalism that I thought it would hurt the dollar, but now that it would benefit the dollar and just make it too powerful. But now I think maybe we've got a way out, and that's going to be good for everybody. J Dub says, so confused. BTC is the apex asset. Why ever sell it for trash fiat? Yeah, you can ask that question. I'll do me, you do you. When I originally started to kind of get into investing and I leaned in really hard, I had about 23 Bitcoin worth of wealth. Now I have closer to 60. So you do you, I'll do me. I time cycles, even though people say you can't do it. I do it really well. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do. So, and again, everybody's like, oh, fiat's trash. Yeah, it is trash. You're right. But when you hit cycle peaks from irrational exuberance, if we hit 280,000 in Bitcoin and you don't take any profits, like just enjoy the next couple of years of downside price action. Okay? Because you can have resets and things like this and people move to new markets. It's how it works. And again, I'm enjoying the 3x Bitcoin that I've made over time instead of just holding it. I like my 3x Bitcoin. I'd like even more, and I'm going to have even more. I'm hoping for 4x Bitcoin by the end of this cycle, maybe 5x Bitcoin by the end of this cycle, because I use leverage too. Why use leverage when you could just buy Bitcoin? Because I like multipliers and I like making a bunch of fucking money. That's why. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, oh well. All right, cool. There you go, J-Dubs. J-Dubs liked it. All right, keep going. Gold. Gold. Gold down today. Oh, Peter. Sorry, Peter. Little Peter. How's speaking of small PPs, how's Meet Kevin doing? Have you guys watched him lately? Is he doing all right? U.S. oil under 69 again, just where we want to see it. This is going to break down. We'll be in the 50s soon. Let's keep going. Let's hit the yen and the won and all that stuff. U.S. dollar versus the Japanese yen is down. We love that. That's good. The Chinese yuan, or the U.S. dollar against the yuan, the U.S. dollar is winning and getting closer to crushing them. The ruble. He's not streaming anymore. Are you kidding? It looks like check this out. So that news yesterday, guys, is fasting. He hasn't posted in a week. Wow. Okay, that's kind of sad. I'm gonna not pick on him too much then. I get it though. He's had a tough time. He just needs to slow down and recalibrate. I think if he can do that, he can come back really strong. But yeah, anyway, the US dollar versus the ruble. Anything interesting happen here? I mean, the ruble was getting absolutely destroyed. Now it's come back greatly. Is it because they're referencing Bitcoin? Is that why? I want to say yes. The move index, let's look at that real quick. Yeah, that's a bummer. I feel bad for him, but his loss is my gain. So the move index continues to drop. Again, this is bond volatility. When volatility comes down in markets, they're usually going up. It's pretty much the rule 99% of the time. And so that's good. We want bond volatility to go down. That's what we've been expecting. That's what we've been talking about. The VIX is just the stock version of that. And we don't look at the 0-day stuff because 0-day is for idiots who like to gamble and lose their money. But we do have still the strongest VIX crush in history, indicating that markets are melting up or will melt up. And we like that. I've got to fix my inversion chart. I actually should switch this around to where it's the 10. Here, maybe I can just do that real quick here. I should switch this because it shouldn't be the 10-2. It should be the 3-month. How do I do this? TVC, this, US 03. 3-month. 3-month government bonds yield. Is that it? Let's try that. See if I F this up. Okay. So I'm going to redo my chart based off of this. It's probably a better representation of an inversion and its uninversion. So I'm probably going to rework this to this later. Anyway, Kevin used to be good source of info, but lately all he does is advertising, of course. Yeah, he's gotten all weird, man. He's wearing like bow ties and shit and has like a mock-up of his jet behind him. He's like trying to be big time. And people liked Meet Kevin when he was just Meet Kevin. And he needs to be humbler. Again, being grateful, I think, also requires some humility. I joke all the time and I act really cocky online, but you have to have humility. You have to realize that you're wrong in life a lot. You have to realize that it's okay to be wrong, like I was talking about earlier. And I hope he gets that. I hope he gets that and it makes him a happier person because he deserves happiness. He seems like a really good guy. He's just trying to be something that I don't think he should want to try to be. You know, I don't think he should want it. But yeah, so I relabel this. But if you look here, this is showing like a more accurate representation of inversion. It's one that I should have been using a while ago. Or at least a lot of people agree. Macroeconomic people agree that this is a better way to look at the inversion, yield curve inversion. Can I give my opinion on Intel? I don't really have much of one. They got a huge award from the government. What was it? $7 billion or more. The CEO left. He sucked. So I'm glad that happened. It might be a good play. It might be a good bounce play. Maybe that's something we should look at. JD, Jesse, have you been keeping in touch with Lena? Is she still broke? No, I have not, JD. Thank you for asking, though. Lena, I don't know where Lena is. Maybe we'll let Lena come back someday. This is Sparta. Does anybody remember why I blocked her? I don't. This is Sparta. PayPal up 6 months in a row. How much longer? Oh, whoa, way more. It's going to go way more. It's getting ready to explode higher. It's PayPal's time, guys. PayPal crushed it. They crushed it on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and like they call it the 7 or whatever. They crushed it. That's why they were up 5% yesterday. And I think we're gonna get to the upper 90s real quick. Maybe take a breather up here at the 100 level. But I think we're gonna be doing that real quick. And it's got a long way to go. How far does it have to go? Well, let's just take a look here, right? Let's take a look. Let's do this. Let's just look at let's look at the history of PayPal, and see. So PayPal is still off 71% from its high, and it's a growing company. It's got massive cash stockpile. They could announce like a Bitcoin reserve and be above $120, $130 a share insanely quick. If they did a Bitcoin strategic reserve, I think that this thing would go to 150 in a week. So how high can PayPal go? PayPal can go a lot higher. PayPal can go a lot higher. It can go up to close all the gaps it needs to close, which it will do, I think, this next year. It goes to 230. Square or PayPal? Square's going to be good. They're both going to be good. I like the options better on PayPal, but run the numbers yourself, okay? My favorite part of Bitcoin breaking 100,000, a $1,000 Bitcoin swing is now simply a 1% move. I know, right? And here's the thing: there's a psychological change that has occurred with Bitcoin going to 100,000 now, guys, and it's a big psychological change. Okay, people have realized now that Bitcoin, and let me just pull this up real quick. They have realized that Bitcoin now that 100,000 is nothing. It's nothing. And so we've gotten as close now to 104. That's what we're getting ready to break out of next. And so now that people are realizing that 100K is nothing, now the new targets come up. The low end target of the 120,000-ish plus range that I've been talking about. The 150,000 target price that Tom Lee said a while ago could even happen at the end of the year is what people are going to be talking about. And we're just going to see more and more and more and more and more of that. And it's going to come at us really fast. Again, this is my long-term target, guys. It's 280,000. I really think that's going to be the top now. I think 150 is a great place to take a bunch of money out and then get ready to make a bunch of money. So I think I will be out of all my multiples by 150K. I'll probably be out of all my miners by 150K, but I'll be ready to buy again. I'll probably switch to maybe IBIT calls if I'm doing leverage, something like that. I'll be doing it based off the ETF and not the multipliers on the miners anymore, or on MSTR. I'll probably get away from some of that, the MSTX and the MSTU by 150K, but I'll still try and make a multiple probably off the IBIT after that time. Tom Lee is on CNBC at 10 a.m. today. I'll probably be gone by then, unfortunately, but that's good information for everybody to have. I'm going to share that out. Thank you very much. I do want to do this real quick, guys. I got to hit the bathroom and I want to get some coffee. So I'm going to see what CNBC is talking about for a second here. All right. Well, I need to go. I got stuff to do. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to hit the restroom and I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat, guys, real quick. And I'll be back in a second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Bye. I'm back. Don't leave. Don't leave. Is it still on commercial the whole time? Now I feel bad. All right, one second. There we go. Got my coffee, though. And I peed. So I'm all reset. All right, what do we got? I probably won't buy anything today. Dave C., not in likes. Talk about supercars is normally a top signal. Yeah. No, not for OGs. Here's so real quickly. That's actually a really good point. Let's talk about that. So is talking about supercars usually a top signal? It is when people that just got in are talking about buying supercars. I've been here for a while, okay? I've been here for a while. I got the right to talk about supercars. Make sure you can differentiate between those two, okay? Make sure you can differentiate between the noobs talking about supercars and an OG talking about supercars. Because those are very, 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 very key differences. We have about 3 minutes until the market opens. I can't wait for that. Today's going to be a crazy ass day, guys. We could see consolidation over the 100,000 mark. I think that's probably going to be the path now. I was thinking that we would just melt up. We didn't get the cascading liquidations, but there's definitely a huge floor that's going to be underneath Bitcoin right now. And it is that 100K mark, and that's mentally the floor now. And it could dip under it for a second, but if it dips under it, people are just going to buy the shit out of it. So things are going to be very, 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 very different. Let's check on altcoins real quick here before we get back to Andrew Dorkin and the market open. So today, FTT, wow. Peanut's back, guys. Peanut making a comeback. Sui's up, Render's up. Oh, gotta love that. These two are pretty good. So if you're going to own stuff, I wouldn't own the old crap. But some Solana, some Sui, some Render, those are probably going to treat you well. And then there'll be random smatterings of meme stocks that people will love as well. Got here late. All floats are boating. Jesse, thanks for getting me on the boat with you. That's awesome, dude. That's my goal, right? Like we should ride together. We should ride together. That's what we want. I bet that guy that paid 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza feels really salty right now. I mean, hopefully he had a bunch more Bitcoin. Because you're right. I mean, it's like, what, $1 billion? It's $1 billion. Is it normally being more stressed when you're making a lot of money than when you were down? I'm probably a lot different than most investors. When I make a lot of money, I get super stressed out. Right now I'm not, though, because this is like the birth of it. It's when we get toppy that I get really stressed, or when things have just been too good for too long, I get really stressed out because I don't want, again, I just don't, it's one of those things where it's like, you know that it's getting more important, that you need to make the right moves. And so that's the stressful for me. Yeah, we got the bell coming in a minute and a half. Let's listen to these guys for a bit.
Chips NVIDIA for the data centers at both Meta and the one I've been reporting on a lot, XAI. The numbers just keep going up. Some of the reporting on XAI I find a bit hard to imagine right now.
Well, I want to offer a theory. This is on
Also, thank you to the 1,100 people that are here. The counter gets all over the place sometimes. I'm not sure. It's like a weird YouTube thing. But thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys.
And Meta AI, which is Musk. David, it's become almost like when you have a hot deal, a hot IPO, where funds circle, I want 10% of the deal with the idea they'll get whatever. Because the numbers that we're hearing that Musk wants, he has 100,000, he would like 10x, which means he wants $1 million, which means $30 billion check to NVIDIA. I think you put in for $1 million, hope to get 100,000.
Yeah, that's the story, an FT story. Listen, I've been following this closely, and I feel as though I have a pretty good sense on it, because my last reporting, of course, was when they raised $5 billion, maybe as much as $6 billion. It hasn't actually closed yet. The latest round at $50 billion. That was to buy another 100,000.
All right, this makes me happy. Sorry, I will get to the open. VR Green Life says, I've been watching you since the Tom interview. Thank you. I quit my job because of you. That's freaking awesome, dude. I love that. I love to hear that. Man Mahendra says, how do you improve your decision making? I think removing emotion from it and just being able to trust yourself more through time and working hard and being right a lot. That helps.
1,000 chips. Remember, this is the Memphis data center that he put.
And follow other people. If you don't know how to do something, learn from other people.
together in an incredible 19 days. Jensen Huang has talked about it, never seen anything like it. He didn't even get permits, by the way, for the natural gas that's powering that thing. Many people I've spoken to in the power industry said impossible that he got the permits. But he did it, because he's Musk, and he...
Are we open?
Not even in the running yet. That's for a candle business.
Yeah. All right, he speaks of candles.
All right, here we go, guys.
At the big board.
It's going to be a day.
Take a look at the CNBC real-time exchange.
Send it to Valhalla. Hey, you know what?
Okay, so
Send it to Valhalla.
About Candle Day. And who wouldn't be, really? We're going to speak with Gina Boswell in the next hour.
Tesla's going to 420, guys. I told you that already.
An old favorite of yours, Jim. Tractor Supply did the honors.
Kyle Wright, love you, brother.
So great, and a lot of that is Hal Lawton, who's a merchant. When you get a merchant running that place,
Let me make sure this is actually refreshed. 1 second here.
They've done a very,
I'm going to
very
mute
good
these
job
guys.
of
They're
having
so
them all
annoying.
the time.
Actually, I'm not going to mute them. We're going
I
to...
do think that when you think about Hal, his background was Macy's.
We're going to turn these guys into background noise to where I can still talk, but you can kind of hear them a little bit. So I'm not screaming over them. Let's go. You know what? That's annoying too. We're just going to shut them up. Just going to shut you up.
They actually.
There we go. Just going to shut you up. All right. Let's look over here real quick. Oh, I can't wait to get my new monitor set up. So MSTX, MSTU doing all right. MicroStrategy doing all right. Hood doing all right. Let me resort here. Miners are going to do all right. I think all that's true. I think altcoins take a breather for the most part. Some are doing all right. Injective's doing good. Let's look here, though. Yeah, CleanSpark up 7% today. I think people are getting excited about that convertible ATM offering. Do you still have a $27 outlook? Oh, it's higher than that. For CleanSpark? No, dude, it's higher than that. Here, I'll show you real quick. So for CleanSpark, no, my outlook is much higher. So I believe that CleanSpark by spring sometime can go up to 41. I think it'll get between 30 and 41. That's my outlook for CleanSpark, in case you're wondering. And it's up 7.4% today. See, this is why, guys. This is why, even though I had complaints about CleanSpark, I was not telling people to sell it. Okay? You need to really understand that it's easy to be frustrated with something, but again, the management has made good decisions in the past and come around. I just wanted to make sure that they made a good decision in the future, so I gave them a hard time. I didn't say it was worth selling. I kept all of it, right? And so this is why today I will benefit from that. And I'm sorry for people who don't. I still think Iron's going to do good, though. I think Iron is a smaller cap, so I think that's going to turn out to be fine for you guys. But a 9% day on CleanSpark doesn't seem bad. Let's go back here. What are we getting? I'm going to make so much money today. Today's $1 million day, ladies and gents. I like those kind of days. I like them. It makes me want to dance. I'm not going to do that for your sake. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. Bitfarms. Oh, people were complaining about Bitfarms so much, about it not performing well. Up almost 9% on the day. Let's resort this again. We got to do it again because it's all about the biddy. It's all about the biddy. We got CleanSpark leading the miners today. Who would have thunk? Bitfarms. Who would have thunk? Injective, MSTR, BITX, crushing it. Riot up. Cypher, Iron, Mara, Bit Digital. See, this is why I don't... all boats float, guys. They're all going up. They're all going up. They're all going up. All of it's going up. Solana's going up. Yeah, it's fun having a crew to make money with. I agree. And it's nice having dialogue, too. I try to talk in chat. It's hard sometimes. I'm glad I have a subscription service on chat because if it was too cheap, I could only imagine, or it didn't exist, I can only imagine the garbage that would be in chat. Oh, BitDeer's at 20%? Oh, dude, that Ethereum narrative. I should really add that to my watch list. I'm going to add that to my watch list. I'll try and do that later. Yeah, BitDeer. BitDeer is the one that has the Ethereum stack. Tell me if I'm wrong, right, Young? Like, they've got Ethereum too? Is that one of the things they're doing? Let me know. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's probably why they're doing so well. And they're a small cap. They're a tiny little cap, little baby cap. So it kind of makes sense that they're crushing it. I'll try and get the rest of the miners. Oh no, that's BTBT. So what's going on with BitDeer? Do we know? I mean, it's tiny though, right? Let's look. I think that part is at least true. Oh, and Bitcoin's starting to go. Oh, we're going? We're going to go. We're going to go. I mean, it's not 104, but it seems like it wants to. BitTier is the one out of Singapore. Ah, okay. All right, cool. BTBT has ETH. Okay. I got to add both of those. I'll add them to my mining list. And I need to start sharing those lists. I have got so much maintenance to do, guys. Jesse, this is feeling great or feeling crazy. Having your bags positioned in the right spot and just waiting for opens. Like, yeah, dude. And again, I just want to reiterate, guys, don't sell too quickly. The fear and greed index for the stock market, I mean, it's higher for crypto. We'll look at that in a second. It's 56. It's almost in neutral status. Now, crypto is a different situation, but I don't think it's a bad one. If we look over here, Jim's talking about Bitcoin. We might have to just look at that for shits and giggles. So it's 84 right now, guys, on the fear and greed index for crypto. But what I want to show you is 84 is right here. Look at what happened to the markets in October 2020 and up to around that time. Look at this, November. So let's go down to the 84 level. So that's November 4th. So the beginning of November of October even, October 27th of 2020. Look at how long we were up here, guys, before we dropped out of this range. January 10th of 2021. So November, December, part of January. So a total of 10 weeks where we sat in extreme levels that were much higher than where we are right now. What's my projection for BTC will land in 2026? It won't be 2027. It'll probably be 2025, okay? So the peaks happen. They happen with about a year and a half after the halving event. So a little bit less than that. Or no, probably just a little bit more than that on average. So, but I think this one's going to be accelerated, and so it'll peak quicker. But it won't be 2026. Don't buy options for 2026. Now, I do think that we could be reaching an age of abundance and a breakout acceleration period for humanity. One cannot discount that. We'll be able to reevaluate that better, though, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now on whether or not that's fact or fiction. And so we don't want to get too overzealous and be like, hey, we're heading to one of the best times in human history and nothing's ever going to be wrong. We still have threats of war with China. We still have a lot of things that can go wrong temporarily. And again, we're going to have bumps along the way. Volatility, upside volatility is created by volatility. It will go up and it will go down, right? That's how you get the momentum. And that's how you get the buy the dippers that really kick in. And then you get the noobs talking about buying a Lamborghini Huracan, and then you get in trouble. But we're a long way away from that is what I'm trying to articulate. Hopefully I'm doing a good job of that. Render up 14%. Render OG, do you hate that? Can you tell me? Render OG, does Render OG hate Render being up 14%? I don't hate it. And again, I think like Solana, Sui, Render, and if you want to find out more about Sui, follow Marty Party. If you want to find more about Solana, follow James and Best Answers. And if you want to find more about Render, just look in the Discord because Render OG certainly talks enough about it for all of us. Ethan says, fuck banks. I can't even send $2,000 for crypto exchanges. How is 2,000 the max? The banks suck. I get it. Hood dropped after open. That's okay. Hood can drop after open. I don't care. Everything else isn't. So MSTX up 18%, MSTU up 16%. So again, it's disparities between these two. Remember everybody bitching about, I don't know, it keeps going back and forth by which one's underperforming. But the average that I'm getting right now is probably 17.5. And since MSTR is only up 8%, that's better performance, right? Better performance on the upside now. Like it. Don't hate it. Mara is up almost 8% now. CleanSpark's at 9%. How much money am I making today? It's going to feel really crazy, guys. It's going to get really weird. When you retired with, Eric Hebert said, when you retired with $375,000, did you have any debt? Yes. Yes, tons of it. I had 2 cars. 2 cars? Yeah, I retired. Yeah, I bought a Tesla. So I had, well, no, technically 5 cars, but I only had loans on 2. And then eventually I bought my parents a car too, which I have a loan on that as well. I love cheap debt. My mortgage isn't super cheap because I was poor and I was borrowing from credit cards for a while for 0% offers for 18 months. I wouldn't recommend this to people, but I did figure out that you could literally take out credit card debt in my wife's name, do 0% offers, get a shit ton of money, like $100,000 worth of money. And then I use that money. And then when it came to the 18 months, if I didn't have the money that I needed to pay it back, I just did 0% offers from my credit and for 18 months, if I can get it. And then I paid off the other debt. And then if I had money left over, that was my money too. But I was able to float debt back and forth for years and years and years without having to worry about paying it all back at once. That was kind of helpful in not spending and allowing me to stay retired for a longer period of time. I don't know if that's a good financial thing for everybody to take on because, again, there was a risk there where if the market just completely melted down, where credit would become less available even if you had a high credit score. So there's definitely risk that comes with that. I love debt. I actually think debt's beautiful. Here's the difference, though. You want really cheap debt, and you want to use it in the appropriate way. You don't want to buy a Lamborghini Huracan when you have $375,000 in investments. You don't want to do that. You want to, after $10 million, maybe you could get a $300,000 car. After $20 million, maybe you get a $2 million house. You just want to be smart. And again, cheap debt, especially with interest rates, I think coming down again. If you could get $1 million house at 3.25%, like why wouldn't you? I can make way more than 3% a year with my money. Why would I spend my money on paying off a house right away when I can make a lot more off of it and I can hedge myself really well from downside risk? So I look at debt as being good. I just think it's bad for 95% of humanity because they don't know how to manage it. And 95 is probably too high. There's a lot of people that are very savvy with debt. Most rich people are. Most rich people have a lot of debt. They just have their assets are outpacing their debt by so much it doesn't matter. What's going on with Tesla? Are we making money off it? I should probably look at my account. Is my account? Let me see here. Ally.com. Let me see how we're doing today. Jesse, you mentioned you'd start selling BTC at 150,000. No, I mean my Bitcoin I'll keep. I will sell leveraged positions. So like my miners, I'll probably be out by 150. And altcoins, I'll probably be out at 150. Maybe I'll have some, and maybe I'll have some miners. But I'll, for the most part, have taken huge amounts of money because I believe there's a big dip that's going to happen around that level. And maybe it happens a little bit before because everybody's looking at that target. So maybe I'm out at 145 with a large amount of money just by taking the momentum that it affords you, because a lot of people front run things like 150K, and I might be out of like 50, 60, 70% of my position and then able to buy in any major dips that come up, because I'll want to trade it like that. So hopefully that gives you an idea of my game plan. And again, it adapts all the time. It's never finite. New input comes in, and then I learn from it, and I take it into account, and then I might change my thesis. So just keep up to date with what's going on. And also, I was looking at, we've got videos, guys, in the Discord right now from Matthew. Stream highlights, he calls it, down here in the Discord. I want to get more of these. I want to get more of these into YouTube, too, because he does a really great job. Just like, again, there's Tesla, there's SoFi. We should almost get these two in the channels, like tag them into the channels that correlate with them. But like SoFi, New, ETH, Dollar, Bitcoin in cycle. If you guys are subscribed to the Discord, you can jump in here and you can just see some of the highlights that he talks about too, which I think is awesome. And he's doing all of this for free. I'm definitely going to have to compensate him later on because this is just really great. He's a good dude. But again, like I think there's good stuff in here. And it saves you some time too, where maybe you can see what's going on. But I love this. And again, if you want to kind of get highlights because you can't make a show, this is a great way to do that. Looks like yesterday I made $500,000. Today, not everything seems to have updated yet, but I think I'm up about 500,000 to 600,000. And so I'm very excited about that. We'll see what happens there, but I do think it's going up a lot. Let's look at the heat map. Let's switch this from pre-market to performance day. Oh my God. So I don't think my options have caught up to this, but I think Tesla is going to make me a bunch of money today too. So 1.1 million in 2 days. I'll take it, but I still think today's going to be $1 million day. We'll see where we land, but I do think today is really good. And I am officially up on my MSTU and MSTX positions by about 15% now, guys. $150,000, maybe a little bit more. Holy cow, Iron is moving up fast as my biggest earner last few months. Thanks, Jesse. Congrats, man. Kevin, I was down over 60% on Tesla for almost 3 years. I'm finally officially up 1%. I may cry. That's awesome, Kevin. I'm glad to hear you're getting back, man. Just don't do what so many people do, whether it's Bitcoin or Tesla. Don't get overly excited and be like, I need to sell everything today because this is as good as it gets and I'm finally in the profit and I should find a faster horse. These might be your faster horse. Again, like Palantir, I could have kept, looking back, if I would have just converted the options that I made a ton of money off of, the 600K just into Palantir, I would have done a lot better on that. So remembering to hodl and have conviction and knowing your targets, kind of where you want to go, and knowing the underlying investment really well is the most important stuff you can do, guys. Miners taking a breather. Are they really, though? Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see how much the miners are taking a breather today. Again, Soul Strategy is taking off. All these things, it looks like are coming back a little bit. So MSTX, MSTU, it looks like that's taking a breather too. What's Bitcoin doing, though? Maybe it's taking a breather. It could be. Nope, it's still running. So some of the proxies are taking a break because everybody's investing directly in the Bitcoin. Kevin Hodl is greater than Meet Kevin sold Tesla. Yeah, he sold it like 200 and then bought back at 300. It just sucks for him, dude. Again, thank you to the 1,200 people that are here. It is huge. I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. All the support that this community continues to give me all the time. I really appreciate it. There's going to be a lot of people making money soon, and there's going to be some people that make a lot of money and they don't really know what they're doing. I hope you guys, if you learn anything from me, I hope you learn to follow some of the people that are really great at what they do, and that are experts in their field, and to be humble enough to know when there are other people that are really great. Jesse, I noticed you have Soul Strategies on a watch list. Thoughts on it? I can't get access to it from the exchanges I have, and I don't know that I'm going to take the time to jump into it. Follow James Invest Answers. This is one of those perfect segue here about Soul Strategies. He's the person who brought this up. He's the person that's got people excited about it. He thinks there's a GameStop-like play that might be similar to MicroStrategy here, where this could go up a lot and the market cap could really increase a ton and people could make a lot of money. It's not available on all exchanges, though, but it's like a Soul-based version of the MSTR play. So if you're interested in that, maybe take a look. I'm personally not in it, just out of laziness. I don't want to move any more funds, and I got so much going on in my life. I still got to hook up my monitors. Just a lot of stuff to do. I got to get a bond back, $7,500 bond for my nephew. I got to talk to the court and see if they'll give me that money back. Maybe buy some Bitcoin with it. Tesla's up 4% today, guys. Remember that 420 I was talking about? It doesn't seem too crazy right now with 372. Let's just look at the account, see how it's doing today. We haven't done that. Oh, hey, yeah. Well, I'm well over. So in the main account today, guys, I'm at $560,000. So that's pretty cool. I think the Tesla options are starting to catch up. PayPal's up 100,000. I don't think this is accurate actually here. This needs to change. So it might balance out a little bit. CleanSpark is probably pretty accurate. That one's showing a 23% increase in the options today, off of a 7% increase in CleanSpark. So that's a pretty huge move. I might sell a little bit today, guys, on some of these. I'm just going to nibble off just to get some cash. I don't think you can have 100 Bitcoin breaking 100K and not maybe nibble off 1% of your holdings. You know what I mean? Would that be the end of the world if I took 60K out? Actually, it's probably like 62K, 63K. I don't know. I broke 6 million for sure. I just don't know how much. I'm probably at 6.2 or 6.3 million right now. It's a pretty good number. Let's see here. Yeah, CYFRF is the Soul Strategies one. Yeah. Again, it's nothing I'm in, just out of laziness. But if you guys get into it, let me know how it goes. I'd definitely be interesting to get your take. I don't think we have any more economic data today. We've got IBPMI. So we got some stuff coming out of Canada. We got natural gas stocks and like the 4 and the 8 week and the 2 year. I'm sorry, that's Canadian. We got bill auctions and stuff. I don't care about those. The yields are coming down. We already know this, right? We know the game plan. Japanese data coming out tonight. That should be interesting. I will keep a close eye. We will be talking about that tomorrow morning. There's a lot. I really want to understand Japan because, again, I'm a little afraid of a potential further unwind in the Japanese yen carry trade and that becoming a thing again next week. A week and a half from now. That could maybe be the thing that kind of pulls markets down at the end of the year after the rally. I don't know. Maybe we just rally up into the end of the year. Like somebody said, there's a couple of days we might actually start to see selling at the very end of the year, not in next year, because of the way that the tax lots work and all this stuff. So keep that in mind. The very end of the year, we might see a dip. But we could rock it up into Christmas time. I think the markets want to do that. They want everybody to talk about Bitcoin and their investments and how well they've done at Christmas dinner so that people are jumping into it at the end of the year, and then we can use them as some exit liquidity. It's sad, but it's kind of a tradition. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if that ends up happening. Do you guys have any other news events that are going on that are really crazy? We can talk about other stuff. Let me know what questions you have. We can definitely talk about other stuff. There's probably more news to check out too. I'll try and look at comments and get back to some of that. I'm just going to refresh over here and see what people are saying on my feed. Definitely take advantage of the yen and taking a trip to Japan this summer, right? That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. I want to go to Japan. My wife went there years ago. She's got some pen pals when she was young. My wife isn't she's not too crazy about about trying, new things or going to exotic places. But when she was very young, when she was like 18 or 19 or something, she went to Japan on her own to meet pen pals, a young model girl, and then another guy that she had been talking to. And she loved it. She loved everything about Japan. I've never been there. I've never really been to that side of the world. And I want to. And so maybe that's something that we end up doing. Maybe next year I go to Japan. I'll let you guys know what I think of it and take pictures along the way. How does price action respect each individual fib line? I know the .618 is the big one, but what about the others? It respects them greatly. It's very, very often you'll see some resistance levels, or you'll see it break a bunch above a fib and then take a break. Sometimes you just keep launching and going up, but that's not all the time. Oh, hey guys, this is an OG. I got to show this guy. 1 second. Carl Minger put this out. Bitcoin Minger. You guys got to see this. This is great. I love this dude so much. This guy is great. So people mocked this guy back in the day. So this guy bought Bitcoin in the way back. Listen to this. This story is just amazing. Listen to this.
Right here, watching history be made. Bitcoin is up to $100,000. That's an all-time high. I saw it break twice today. It went up to 100,002. And this is the highest it's ever been. It's ridiculous. We had last trade 2 Bitcoin for $100,000 a piece.
This guy also did that same thing up here, if you look, when it turned $100. And he's bought a ton of Bitcoin along the way. Pretty crazy. 1 second here. I might cut this early today. I'm not going to lie. We've talked about everything we need to talk about. I'm just going to enjoy my day today. We're going to make a lot of money. Definitely check back in tomorrow. I don't know. This is a 2-hour stream. I think that's plenty. Hopefully you got some value out of it. And I need to go gloat about the fact that we're going to be hitting 420 right now. Here in the not too distant future on Tesla and do the I told you so. So I got a bunch of I told yous to put out there, and then I got a walk to take with my mother-in-law and my wife. So I love you guys. We're gonna make lots of money together. Yeah, your boy Jesse just made lots of money. We're gonna make a lot of money together. Life is gonna be good, and it's just gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. So, like your boy Little Bubble said. Let's enjoy this, okay? Peace out, guys. Bye.
Woke up, check the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, check the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. 100 racks, 100 bands, 100 million sats. Hold it in my hands. Yeah, they used to laugh at us, now they wanna dance. They never bought any before, but now they want a chance. TV news reports going to the moon. A year ago, that very station told you it was doomed. I was telling everyone about it, they never heard me though. Now I'm checking my folio, getting vertigo. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Shout out Gary G. Wow. Senator Warren, the biggest clown show on earth. They kept the circus going. Those ETFs received the checks and kept the surplus flowing. They tried their best to FUD, but nothing stopped the chart from blowing. Shout out Larry Fink and all the Wall Street chads. The people that were laughing at us about to buy our bags. Back in 2018, I said I'd never sell. Now they're bidding six-figure biddy. Maybe I will. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Woke up, checked the chart, had a heart attack. Yeah, we climbed so far from where we started at. Tell me where were you when Biddy hit 100 racks? We kept the faith, ran the race, now we run it back. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me for all of these years. Living through all the fun, holding, accumulating, dollar cost averaging. This is our moment. Congratulations.
Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Bye.